The Navy has increased its surveillance missions and beefed up operational deployment in the Indian Ocean region in the wake of India's 7-week bitter border standoff with China in eastern Ladakh, people familiar with the development said. The Indian Navy is also ramping up its operational cooperation with various friendly naval forces like the US Navy and Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force in view of the fast-evolving regional security landscape, they said. The Indian Navy was asked to raise its alert level in the Indian Ocean region where Chinese Navy has been making regular forays. As the water flow has increased in the Galvan River, the Indian security forces are now feeling the need for specialized waterproof clothing for the troops deployed there in a standoff position with China. The Chinese side, which has made camps all along the Galvan River Valley up to near the Indian patrolling point 14, has come with specialized clothing where the lower portion of the combat dress is made up of waterproof material which allows them to step into the water, the sources said. Earlier also, while patrolling the area from KM 120 post to the PP 14, Indian security men had to step inside the river water which would wet their shoes. The Army's decision to deploy the T-90 Bhishma tanks was taken after the Chinese People's Liberation Army (PLA) had beefed up its positions on the riverbed with armored personnel carriers and troop tents. The Indian Army is occupying the dominant heights in the sector within its side of the Line of Actual Control (LAC). Infantry combat vehicles along with 155 mm howitzers have been deployed all along 1,597 km long LAC in East Ladakh, with 2 tank regiments deployed in Chushul sector to repel any aggressive plans of the adversary through the Spangur Gap. While Chinese PLA wants to make a deal on the LAC in this sector as part of withdrawal, the Indian Army has no mood to give an inch as the military aggression came from the Western Theatre Command of China with the intention of redefining the LAC. According to military commanders, India is prepared for a long haul in this limited spectrum with capability of a full spectrum retaliation in case the red flag goes up. The Indian Air Force has wargamed how it can successfully launch air operations in case China deployed its S-300 and S-400 air defense systems, as it has reportedly done in the Tibet region adjoining Ladakh amid the current standoff. India has pushed in more air defense and radar systems in Ladakh since 20 May, giving it a full view of the deployment and activities across the line of actual control. The IAF has wargamed the scenario of operating amid Chinese air defense systems, which includes the S-400, S-300, LY-80 and others. All I can say is that the high altitude and the mountains work to our advantage, a source told. Sources in the defense and security establishment say that from a pure air-to-air combat, the Indians have an edge over China in the high-altitude Ladakh sector. However, what China has an edge over with India is its air defense systems. One of the biggest handicaps for China's People's Liberation Army Air Force (PLAAF) is that all their bases in Ladakh are far away from the LAC and are at high altitudes. Because of high altitudes, the fighters cannot take off with full fuel or weapons packages. High altitude means that it effectively saps the energy of the fighters. India, on the other hand, has a number of bases close to Ladakh, and it has activated all the bases in Punjab, Haryana, Kashmir, Leh and rest. Other elements that work in India's favor are the long-range standoff weapons with extreme precision, such as the Indo-Russian joint venture missile BrahMos, European manufacturer MBDA's Scalp and even the Israeli Spice 2000 among others.